Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to episode 17 of Taze TV. Yes, we have 2 episodes this week. It's a very special week. Just kidding, it's just for fun. I had too many stories, so here we are on episode 17, but the second episode this week. And stay tuned, I have a great show ahead of us. On this episode of Taze TV, I went and talked with a local woman who's experienced tremendous grief in her life, but now she's taking her pain and using it as a way to help guide others who have gone through similar situations. That's coming up to you right now on Taze TV. Welcome in, everyone, to episode 17 of Taze TV. I'm Taylor Austin. You know, the Tay behind Taze TV. Yep, I kind of named my show after myself. Surprise! But thanks for tuning in, guys. I hate to say it, but I do think the cooler weather is officially here. We might see a few warmer days ahead of us, but for the most part, fall is quickly approaching for us. And this time of year always makes me think of my mom and her warmth. She just had a way of making a room feel warm and brightening up a room with her smile. There's not a single day that goes by that I don't think of my mom or want to talk about her. In fact, I probably do talk about her every single day and annoy people with that, but she was and still is my hero. I feel her with me, especially when I'm reporting. Even more so when I work on stories like this one. Here's the story of Soul 57.
I would just look around and see other families, and I always felt very out of place and like we were the abnormal ones. And if my dad wasn't doing something the same way, I saw a family that had a mom the way they were doing it, then I'm like, well, we're doing it the wrong way.
Jenny Maattala grew up in Watford City, North Dakota, with her 2 other siblings, Casey and Seth. However, at the young age of 6, Jenny's life would be turned upside down.
So my mom died when I was 6. She had a brain tumor.
After Jenny graduated in 2004, she went on to Fargo to study English and communications.
You didn't look around, at least not back then, and see a lot of other people going through those sort of situations. So that's why I started relying on a lot of writing and reading, getting lost in other people's stories and kind of finding that mirror image of what other people are going through in their stories, and then processing and working through some of it with my own writing.
Jenny then moved to New York, where she worked for a publishing company. She married her high school sweetheart, Derek, in 2012, and they began having kids with one another. That's when they decided to come back to North Dakota to be closer to family. They moved to Bismarck, where Jenny's sister, Casey, had been living with her family.
Those 2 years were pretty significant for us. They were probably the only 2 normal years we got to be in the same city, doing family things.
Jenny found herself growing very close with her sister as she sought motherly guidance and advice from her.
So once I started having kids, that's when I said I really had to rely on my sister, because the mom role models that I had growing up were Disney Channel moms, and it became really clearly evident very quickly that, you know, that's television and you can't be a Pinterest mom and maintain sanity. And so I texted her and talked to her a lot, my sister.
Though Jenny would begin to recognize the unresolved grief in her heart, more would soon come.
She was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer.
Casey would suffer for about 2 years before she died in 2019, leaving 4 young children behind.
Knowing that her kiddos were going to be going through a lot of the same things my brother and I went through.
In the 30-some-odd years that had been since Jenny's mom died, the support for youth grief in North Dakota hadn't gotten any better. There were little resources in the state for kids who go through traumatic situations. Not only that, but the understanding of these types of children has also been minimal up until recently.
Those feelings don't come out and I'm sad because mom died. It's tantrums, or it's new behaviors, it's acting out in school, it's isolating.
Jenny's empathy for her niece and nephews, along with her grief, would end up being a spark of inspiration. In 2023, she began Soul 57.
57 was her lucky number. She always had 57 kids in her house and 57 things on her to-do list. And then the number 57 came up pretty often when she was going through chemo and treatments, and she passed away in room 757 at the hospital. So it's just a little wink toward her, remembering why we're doing what we're doing.
Soul 57 is a 501c3 nonprofit that helps children navigate grief. Some of their services include group therapy for grades K through 12, caregiver support, and workshops.
We'll do writing or art or music. We'll do equine therapy and dance and yoga and gardening. We've gone out to Wilton and have done a paintball course. We've gone to the break room and broke some things, and just really anything that's gonna strike a chord with the kiddos and help them find what works for them in their grief. And they can do that here with friends, but then they can take it outside and apply it to so many other things in life.
It's obvious that grief can change many things in our lives, including friendships. Sure, some may lose their friends through grief and mutual loss, but some find one another and connect through that shared loss.
I get to know people in my sister's life now that, even though I'd known them kind of tangentially for years, Amy being one of them, we met when I was 16, I think. They were college roommates. But when I was starting Soul 57, Amy was actually the very first person that I told about it who actually was like, yes, we're gonna do it. She was such a champion.
Her sister was one of my best friends in college, and so I was able to meet Jenny through Casey, and then just through the trials and tribulations of life, just getting to know Jenny on more of a personal level. And then after losing Casey and going through the process of losing Casey, Jenny and I think were gifted probably one of the best gifts from her sister, and I think that is our friendship. It's really easy to encourage when it's something that is so driven and you feel that general sense of just empathy, just knowing that Jenny, just from a very, very beautiful and genuine place in her heart, she really truly felt that this is what needed to be done. And it's contagious to find someone that's that excited, and you just want to be a part of that.
Soul 57 is now a whole board of people, and their services are expanding across the state. Their very first annual fundraiser is coming up on September 11th. Souls in the Sand.
This first fundraiser is going to be an essential one for us, just getting, the people to the event, but also helping us educate them on what we do, the services we provide, and helping us also bring more numbers to us in terms of those that need the services.
We can't really say there's a success story because you don't heal from grief. You learn to live with grief and you learn to make it softer in your life. But when we see a new girl come into group and she sits next to a girl who's been coming to group for a while, and one says, "Hi, my name is so-and-so. Who did you lose?" And she says, "Oh, I'm so-and-so. My dad died." And the other one goes, "My dad died too." And then they become friends. Seeing those relationships form is one of our greatest forms of success.
Gracing others with support through their grief and creating a safe space for children in their time of need. Jenny Maattala, founder of Soul 57, is a person worth praising. Reporting for Taze TV, I'm Taylor Rawson.
If you would like to donate to Soul 57, check out their services or their upcoming fundraiser. All you have to do is head to the website link inside the description of this video, and you can check all of that out. And I will be there on the 11th to help support their cause, because I cannot turn down a good time for a good cause. So you guys better head on out there on the 11th next week on Thursday to help support their cause. And Soul 57 also wanted to say thank you to all their sponsors seen on your screen here, including Stepping Stones Counseling, Cornerstone Bank, Benning Financial Services, and others. And I also want to say thank you to Jenny for allowing me to share her story and share some of my story with her as well. Hashtag Dead Moms Club. Just kidding. I don't know if she'll get the joke. Dark humor. I mean, people who have been through certain things in life, we get dark humor. So hopefully she laughed at that a little bit. But also be sure to go check out Fuel the Fight this weekend on Saturday at the Arco Mall in Minot. There's going to be food truck vendors, touch the truck event where you actually just go check out like really cool trucks and like fire trucks and things like that. Is not where you actually touch the truck. So don't mind me telling you guys false information on the last show. But there's also going to be a dunk tank there, and this will be happening most of the day Saturday. So stop on out for a good cause. All the proceeds raised at Fuel the Fight goes to transportation services for cancer patients to get to and from their oncology appointments. So once again, a good time for a good cause, people. But that is all I do have for you guys this week. I know 2 whole shows in 1 week, just not enough. But I just want to say thanks for all the support and all the love. And be sure to tune in a couple of weeks. I'm going to take next week off since I went a little too hard this week. And give myself some time to work on my next story, which will be about my boss in my full-time job, Mr. Mike Maven. He is a wonderful guy, and I can't wait to share his story with you all. And that's in a couple weeks on Taze TV, but until then, be sure to go like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the things, sell your soul, I don't know. All the engagement truly, truly does matter. And again, I just want to say thank you to everyone for all the love and continued support. All right, that's all I have. Bye, Dad. I love you.